Today's daily devotional from Pastor Greg Laurie, Outside Your Comfort Zone. The Lord gave this message to Jonah, son of Amittai: "Get up and go to the great city of Nineveh. Announce my judgment against it, because I have seen how wicked its people are." Jonah 1:1-2.
Throughout this month, we'll be addressing the need for revival in our nation. To help frame our discussion, I want to look back at one of the greatest revivals in human history. This week, we'll be talking about what happened in the Assyrian city of Nineveh, as recorded in the Old Testament book of Jonah. The first thing we need to understand is that one of the greatest revivals in human history began with one person who was willing to step out of his comfort zone. Okay, maybe Jonah wasn't exactly willing at first, but after a short stay in the digestive tract of a giant fish, he was quite willing. By the way, if the idea of a person being swallowed by a giant sea creature seems far-fetched to you, you should read the story of Michael Packard, a veteran lobster diver from Cape Cod, Massachusetts. One day, while Packard was in the water, he was washed into the mouth of a humpback whale. He recalled, "All of a sudden, I felt this huge shove, and the next thing I knew, it was completely black. After about 40 seconds, the whale spit him out." The same thing happened to Jonah. It just took about 3 days longer in his case. Jonah ended up in the belly of a giant fish because he wanted to stay in his comfort zone. Jonah chapter 1, verses 1-2 says, "The Lord gave this message to Jonah, son of Amittai. Get up and go to the great city of Nineveh. Announce my judgment against it, because I have seen how wicked its people are." But Jonah refused. The Ninevites were enemies of Israel and were known for their wickedness and cruelty. The idea of God forgiving and showing mercy to them was far outside Jonah's comfort zone. He had no concern for the souls of the Ninevites. He took comfort in the notion that God would judge Nineveh. He wanted the Ninevites to suffer for all the suffering they had caused Israel. But God didn't call Jonah to make himself at home in his comfort zone. He called Jonah to leave his comfort zone far behind and do something that must have felt not only out of character, but also beyond his ability. That's how revivals begin. Ordinary people respond to an extraordinary call. They step outside their comfort zone and place their trust in God to accomplish what He would have them do. Are you willing to leave your comfort zone to reach people who need Jesus? Are you willing to build bridges to people who are of a different political persuasion than you are? Are you willing to build bridges to people who are of a different race than you are? Are you willing to build bridges to people who are just different from you? Don't forget, that's how revivals get started. As you go about your day, I encourage you to think about this question. What would it look like in your life to reach out to someone who is different from you?